Thank you, Brianna, for coming in and giving your time to reflect on our professional learning centered around science and what we learned with Kristen Moorhead when she was here last, when you and Mariah spent the day together and got to see her teaching some science lessons with your students. So the first question, what did you see Kristen do with kindergarten students and hear her do that reaffirms something that you have done in your classroom?
So it was really nice to see her come in and do a science lesson in our classrooms with real students, to kind of see how it flows and how she interacts with the kids and see like how she answers some of their questions with science that way. And then also the notebooks that we have science notebooks where the students will write about what they learned that day. So it was nice to see how she modeled that with the students, and then she would cover her entry up so that the students could see it being modeled on what they should write about, but then covering it up so that they don't exactly copy what the teacher wrote, that they can put their own twist on what they learned.
Nice. And what did you see in here that you would like to know more about?
I think I would like to know and be able to dive into the next unit and kind of dive into that with her and kind of get her input and advice on how to teach the next unit, see her do another lesson with our students with that unit. I think that was really helpful. And just to get that time to plan with her and get the next lesson and investigation and stuff ready.
What would you like to try in your own practice immediately? I know we had talked about vocabulary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so our science unit has like vocab cards to use, and there's tons of them. So I think just being able to have those ready and just to be able to pull out, you might not use all the vocabulary cards in that lesson, but to have them readily available during the free flow conversation and discussions that you're having with students to really reinforce that vocabulary, and then be able to hang it up around the room for them to see and use every day.
Yeah, we had talked about all the vocabulary sometimes is overwhelming because there's so many. So I really thought it was kind of eye-opening how she didn't necessarily go over every single word and just let the students lead that conversation. So what resources or learning opportunities do you need to make you a better teacher of science?
I think just to have her come back out here and model like another lesson with like our next unit that we go into, our physical science unit, to kind of see how she does with that. I know we saw the earth science, but every science is different, so it'd just be nice to see how she does with that, and just kind of see all that and how she does, and then be able to get that time to plan and get the next investigations and lessons ready. I think is very helpful. To just be able to go in and pull out and already have it prepped and everything for me.
We talked a little bit about you and your co-teacher doing this professional learning together. How did you feel about that?
I think it was really good to see, like I said again, with our students in our classrooms and not just having the lesson walk through with us, that we were able to see it with our real students so we can kind of see how they are and how they're enjoying science, and that kind of makes me want to be a better teacher at teaching science because it gets them so excited.
Yeah, you had talked a little bit about having some apprehension about teaching science.
Yeah, I kind of am nervous about teaching science just because I feel like I need to know everything, but then that's not the case. Like, it's okay if you're learning along with the students, and if they have a wondering or question, then you can just look it up and then everyone will know the answer.
So what are your next steps?
I think just to continue teaching the science unit through all the modules, and then move on to, once we finish earth science, move on to the physical science, and get that all planned out.
Do you think that this experience has made you a better science teacher?
I do.
Definitely. Well, thank you.
Thanks.